This is Stephen Miller reacting to that video that you just cited.
Yeah.
So let's play that video for a second. It's a minute and a half long to give some context here.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military,
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army.
Our Navy.
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
Our Constitution.
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Okay, pause real quick. I love it when I'm watching these absolute clowns say, well, the threats are coming from at home. Good. Where are they? Where's the illegal orders? Where are they? Go ahead and point to it. Don't just tell a bunch of law enforcement, intelligence agents, and military that you can't follow illegal orders. Oh, well, thanks for that. Thanks. I'm not allowed to speed either. Thanks for the friendly reminder. You're the one that prefaced all of this with the threats are coming from inside, okay? Point them out. What are the threats? And give me the illegal orders that you're not allowed to follow. Oh, was that not a part of your little thing here? Like, oh, we need our members of the military. Where were any of these people when members of our military were getting thrown out over COVID vaccines? I'm so glad that they actually recognize that we do need our military. But when our military needed them, these guys who are now holding up their own service, holding up the fact that they once held the uniform, holding up that they actually swore an oath, where were they for any of those guys and gals? Nowhere to be found. No, I take that back. They were celebrating them getting kicked out of the military. So from me to you, screw you guys. You are a shameful representation for veterans. You're right, you did swear an oath. I would love to see you live up to it at some point. How pathetic. What a joke.
Well, they were
What a
busy
joke.
replacing those people with trans military members. Is their loyalties lied with wherever the social experiments led. And so it was about replacing good soldiers with people confused about their gender.
I can't believe one of those guys was an Army Ranger. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like the Federal Reserve. And I really don't like fiat currency because, quite frankly, I am tired of living in an inflation to inflation style of economy. And that is why I am getting a lot more interested in precious metals. It's also why I reached out to Lear Capital, because I appreciate the fact that they're not just trying to sell me something without actually educating me about it. In fact, Lear Capital will send you a free investor kit that includes a $4,500 gold report where you can actually learn about how you can actually own physical gold. That's right. When your government decides to debank you, the question is what do you have on hand that actually has genuine intrinsic value that has stood the test of time? Lear will set you up to actually own gold, silver, precious metals on your physical location, right there, your safety deposit box, your safe, you got it. Plus, they will also educate you on how you can actually roll it over into your 401k, into your IRA, all of that good stuff. Plus, my viewers get a special offer of up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with qualified purchase. Now, if you want to learn more about this, I'm going to encourage you to get started today by calling Lear at 800-707-4575. That's 800-707-4575, or visit nick4lear.com. That's Nick, the number 4lear.com. We thank them for advertising for us. Go over there, get educated, be able to protect your investments.
You know what I find so disturbing about this, but also eye-opening and interesting, is that, they say don't give up the ship. What they're implying is that they're the ones that should be running the ship of state, even though they lost the election last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. Democrats sincerely believe that they are the only ones that have the legal and moral authority to run this country, even when they lose an election. So the choice is, you can either elect Democrats and they run the country, or you elect Republicans and Democrats still get to run the country. They just run it through the bureaucracy.
Yep.
They run it through the Pentagon. They run it through the intelligence community, through the federal bureaucracy, and the judicial system. But either way, they always get to run the show. The question is just through what mechanisms. Is it either through your elected officials or is it through the unelected bureaucracy? But no matter what, they will never, I've said this a few times, they will never grant moral authority to anybody else to be in charge of anything. Because they don't believe, they fundamentally do not think that the right has a right to exist. What they will say is that no, we're against. They do. Let me put it this way: they don't recognize that they have political enemies. They believe that they have pathologies that must be eradicated from society.
Right.
Racism, sexism, bigotry, Islamophobia, transphobia, homophobia, all the phobias and isms in the world. Right? They have to be destroyed and eradicated. That's what they believe in as progressives. And so they quite literally do not grant moral legitimacy to another political force to vie for control over the political structures of this country, let alone to change those political structures in a way that might align with their moral vision of how society should be ordered, as opposed to their moral, the Democrats' moral vision. But what's even more nefarious about all of this, at least from my perspective, is the same guys that kind of sat there and did absolutely nothing when 20 million illegal immigrants were imported into this country now want to tell me that they're standing up for the Constitution. So one party gets to import millions, tens of millions of people into this country in a cynical ploy to radically change the voting demographics of the electorate to guarantee themselves a permanent majority. They get to do that, and they get to get away with it. And then when the other party gets elected to deport the future voters that they brought into this country in a cynical ploy to break the political system and guarantee themselves a permanent governing majority, they're engaged in illegal orders. They're engaged in a violation of the Constitution. So one party that imports the third world in order to fundamentally change this country then gets to appeal to the Constitution to defend their importation of future voters. And I'm supposed to care about them appealing to the Constitution or appealing to the Declaration of Independence or appealing to the rule of law? Who gets to determine what the law is? You showed me through COVID and through the Biden administration that there is no such thing as the rule of law. Laws are written by men, they're interpreted by men, they're enforced by men, and you've claimed absolute moral authority for you to do all three of those things yourself, no matter what the outcome of an election is. So what you've told me is that, what this all is? It's all about power. That's all that politics is. It's just a power play. And whoever gets to mask their desire for absolute power under some sort of veneer of moral legitimacy gets to be in charge of running the thing. And they've been far more effective at that than us, because our side for a long time actually did believe in these things, actually did genuinely want to defend these things at the same time that they were subverting them.
The thing is I have not given up on this concept of the rule of law. I just don't believe that they care about it. And the big question that we're all asking ourselves right now is, the rule of law is a very, very powerful thing when the vast majority of people agree to it. It becomes very, very difficult to maintain when an entire political party just takes it or leaves it whenever it's convenient. They still use it. It's like, what's the other thing? They wear it as like a skin suit and then demand that you still respect it, even though when they're willing to subvert it whenever it's inconvenient for them. I love it when they talk about the various authorities of government without ever talking about the responsibilities. You don't just have, the federal government just have the authority to enforce immigration law. They have the responsibility to do it. They don't just have the authority to defend our borders. They have the responsibility to do it. So when you guys actively sit by because Ranger Jason Crow there voted with Joe Biden 100% of the time. When you actively sit by and allow that to happen because you find it politically beneficial for yourself, despite what the rule of law says, despite what the responsibilities of the federal government are, why am I supposed to now come back and look at you offering up the Constitution as anything you take seriously? I don't. This is, I can't emphasize this enough. I am at the point right now where I will get angry when they do something like this because these are guys that are, once again, they're holding up their military service and they're holding up their oath to the Constitution as if it's something that they genuinely cherish when I feel like it's just convenient for them. That makes me angry. But more and more, I will write something on X or I'll do a video and they'll come in and start to comment, right? And they'll try to make some facsimile of an argument. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't care. I used to care about the arguments because if you made an argument, I wanted to make a reverse argument. I wanted to address your issue. What I have learned is you don't care how good my response is. You don't care if I have facts or evidence. You don't care if I'm logically consistent. You don't care if I can demonstrate why what I believe is accurate or in line with the Constitution. You don't care. Because the moment I do make a good argument, well, that's detrimental to what you want, which is exactly what Christian said. Power. You've already decided you're the good guys. That's what's so important to understand about this. They've already decided they're the good guys, and they've already decided we're the bad guys. There is no such thing as, oh, wait, here's the evidence to prove you wrong. That's not even a consideration. This is why I said the day Charlie Kirk got murdered. This is the part where people start to wake up to the idea that this is not just a civil debate among fellow countrymen. The things we want are not just different, they're diametrically opposed. And I do not believe that we should just give in to the moral framework that they've created. But by the same token, I'm not going to pretend like if I just make a good enough argument or show enough evidence, they're going to come around. When you prove yourself completely obtuse to any sort of evidence which could demonstrate that what you have just done is incorrect, and the only value you give to your argument is whether or not it's successful at achieving power for yourself, you've shown me who you are.